So close your eyes and start tuning into your breathing. Inhale and exhale, just as you normally would. And then we'll start deepening our breath. So your next inhale, it's very slow, very deep and long. Breathing first into the chest, then the belly, and then slowly exhale. All the air leaves the body and you're noticing how it feels. And then inhaling again. So we are just in our opening meditation, either in a seated position or lying back on your bolster or blanket. And if you'd like, you can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly as you breathe to really feel that air coming in and out. So in your next breath in, you're still breathing deeply, just the chest rising first, then the belly kind of pushes into your hand. Exhaling the opposite way. So first the belly falls, then the chest. And continuing in this way, reversing when you exhale. So you inhale into the chest. Keep inhaling into the belly. You might even hold here and then exhale belly and then chest. So you'll continue breathing like this for a little bit longer. And if you're just joining now, welcome. Thank you for being here. We're just in our opening meditation, breathing really deeply and mindfully. As you breathe, you begin to notice things. So it can be noticing the physical body and how it feels today. So our whole practice is a self-inquiry. How do we feel right now? There might be a lot of emotions swirling around. So we're going to try to have our mindful one-pointed focus today to ground ourselves. So keep breath going. And then you're welcome to set an intention here. And you are not required to be productive today or have some complicated intention. It might just be the word presence. It might be breathe, it might be peace, something you want to cultivate in yourself. So holding your intention in your mind, and then we'll breathe in together and hold. So nice inhale in the chest and the belly. Holding the breath in, allowing that intention to be clear in your mind, and then exhaling it out. Let it permeate into your practice today. Beautiful. All right, so if you're sitting down, you're just going to kind of go sideways on your mat for child's pose. If you're lying back, first go ahead and bend your knees and you'll roll to one side. Then you can kind of walk the hands around. We're all going to meet in child's pose. I'm pushing my props to the back of the mat. So here we are in child's pose. The third eye down on the mat, and you can use a bolster under the chest and head if you need to. All right, so you're in child's pose here. We're breathing, and this pose is telling us more about how the body feels. So it can be a tough pose. Everyone says it's resting pose, but just keep in mind it's okay if this isn't as restful for you or if it's uncomfortable. We're not going to be here too long. We're going to start with our vinyasa practice, a slow flow. And see if you can breathe into the kidneys, the back of the ribs. Really breathe into the back body. Exhale, release something, some muscle, some thought. And then let's start some movement. So I call these child's pose waves. We're going to slide the right hand back towards the knee. And then inhale, we're going to lift the hips and kind of paint a rainbow, make an arc with the hand and come back down. Then we take the other side. So go ahead and slide left hand and then inhale, arcing. Exhale, hips come down, hand comes down. And then we alternate. So flowing with this. So inhale and exhale. Opposite side. Inhale, exhale. And then continuing about 3 more on each side. Your own pace. When you're done, see how your energy feels. Notice any movement in the upper body, any pulsing, anything in the hips, lower body. And then we're going to slowly come up, hands and knees. So hands are right below your shoulders, knees below the hips, and we'll take some cat and cow. So you're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest up. Exhale, it's the opposite, rounding like a cat. And then inhale, so you're moving with your breath. So vinyasa flowing with the breath. Exhale. Doing a few at your own pace. So if you need to kind of move the hips side to side, stretch the hips back, inhale the chest forward, anything that feels good, swaying. You can even kind of do hip circling. So a few of these. Beautiful. And then back to neutral spine. So press the left hand into the ground and then inhale, right arm comes sweeping up. Exhale, diving the arm under and bringing the shoulder and head to the ground. So nice twist in the thoracic spine here, the middle part of the back. And then you can bring this left hand to the low back if you'd like. You can even bring it around to the opposite hip. Let's take 5 breaths here. Good. And then bringing that arm back around if you moved it. It might have just stayed here for support. We'll press left hand down and then inhale up 1 more. Exhale, hand down. We'll do a round of cat-cow. So inhale, belly drops, chest lifts, and exhale, round. And then opposite hand, arm. So inhaling, left arm sweeping up. Exhale, sliding that arm under, bringing the shoulder down. And then if you need to bring the hand to the low back or behind you, or maybe it just stays down. Taking about 5 more breaths here. Beautiful. Bringing that right hand back near the face, press it down, and then inhale, sweeping up 1 more time. Exhale, hand comes down, and then slowly bring the hips back to child's pose. Bringing your third eye down. So I might be getting up and down so I can talk to you all. You can stay in the pose or take a child's pose at any point if you need to. You can even just lie down on the ground and breathe, and you'd still be practicing. You'd still be doing the practice. All right, from here, we'll take downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under, lifting the hips high. And then you want to be sure you're the right distance, hand and feet. So you can always test this by slowly coming into plank. You can adjust arms or feet and then inhale, exhale, back down dog. Your hands and feet should pretty much stay the same where they are. So maybe you pedal this out. Maybe you bend one knee, then the other. Maybe you come up high in the tippy toes, press the chest down and then the heels down. Whatever stretch you need. Maybe some pops and cracks going on. That's great. Good. And then we're going to come into stillness for just a moment, breathing into this pose. So the hands really press down a lot. You're using a lot in the arms to lift the hips high, and then the feet, heels press down. The heels might not touch the ground. They may never touch the ground. That's okay. And then if you need a child's pose, go ahead and bring the knees down. Third eye down, sink back. And we'll find our downward facing dog, start flowing a bit. So inhaling, we'll take the right leg up. And you can do this from your knees as well. So you come to hands and knees and inhale the right leg. And then can you open the hip to the side? So if you're down dog, it looks like this. 3 breaths here. And then inhaling the right leg, squaring the hip, the toes point up, and then exhale, we'll bring the foot between the hands. If you need to help it forward, you can do that. And then we're gonna come down on the back knee. So your hands might be on blocks on the floor, on your books or towels, pillows, whatever you need. So hips starting to sink down and forward. And then staying right here, or maybe you lift arms to the thigh or even lift arms up to the sky. And then if you're in high arms, you can cactus down. So bending elbows, opening the chest, bringing the hands back up, and then exhaling down. We're gonna take half split or half Hanuman. So your press hands into the floor blocks, inhale the hips up and back. This leg can be straight or bent. I have an injury in my hamstring, so I'm bending a lot on this side. Maybe you lift the chest, straighten the spine, and then exhale, release. And then we're just gonna inhale back, moving the blocks, tucking the back toes, bringing the the hands down, lift the back leg, and then back for child's pose, or you can take a plank to downward facing. Take 3 big breaths. So inhale, exhale, sighing it out. 1 more. Beautiful. And then left leg lifts up. So from the hands and knees position or from down dog, and then opening hip. 2 more breaths here. And then straightening the legs, squaring the hips, and inhaling, exhale, stepping left foot forward. Maybe you help it with the hand, back knee sinks down. And then maybe hands on your blocks or on the floor or your props. So here we're just getting into the hip in a little bit of a yin way. We'll just pause in some of the poses as we flow. Good. And then hands either coming to the thigh, staying down, or inhale arms. If you would like, you can cactus, taking a little back bend, inhale, and then exhale, hands coming down. We're going to take that half split. So inhale, lift the hips, send them back, lift the right toes off. You can slide hands back and exhale. Maybe you inhale, lift the chest, straighten spine, and then exhale. Going a little deeper. Good, and we'll inhale back to the front. I'm gonna just put my blocks to the sides. Bringing hands down. You can tuck the back toes, going to down dog, going to child's pose, or plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. If you need child's pose here, take that. We'll take a few deep breaths in this pose. Beautiful. Inhale. And then let it go. I'm going to look forward, walking to the front of the mat. So you can dangle in a forward bend here. Knees can be bent as much as you'd like. You can hold opposite elbows maybe. That really opens up the upper back, for me anyway. Or hands can be on your props. So any of these. We'll take 10 breaths. You can sway if you want to. You can be still if you want to. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring our hands up the shins, lift halfway up. So it's a long, straight spine, parallel with the floor. Exhale, fold, and then let's sweep arms up. Inhale to the sky. Up to standing. Exhale, palms to the heart center. Nice. Inhale, exhale. We're just going to move a little more. So we'll inhale, arm sweep up. Exhale, bend the knees and sweep down. 2 more like that. Inhale up. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. All the way down. We're going to lift up halfway. And now we'll go through some sun salutations. I'm going to modify the first one, and then you decide what you want to do for these. So inhaling again, halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, stepping back for a plank pose. And then let's drop down to the knees. So to just illustrate chaturanga arms, when we come down, we're not coming out like push-up arms. You're gonna bring your elbows close, and the elbows point to the back of your mat. So exhaling when you're ready all the way. Good. And then we're going to keep the hands where they are. Zip the legs up, and we're inhaling to a baby cobra. So we're not coming all the way up. We're coming up kind of low. You should be able to lift your hands up, and then exhale, bring them down. Inhale. Exhale all the way down. And then we have several options here. So I'm going to show a modified one. You'll lift up again on these, back to child's pose, up to downward facing, as slowly as you'd like. Another option, coming right up to plank, exhaling, downward facing. And then I'll demonstrate the chaturanga up dog next. Breathing here. Nice. Looking forward, you can walk to the front or take a big step, maybe jumping, and then inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Then we're going to inhale all the way up. Exhale to the heart. 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, sweep arms. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands plant, stepping back. So please feel free to do the knees lowering down version, back to child to down dog. If you want, you can take chaturanga, same arms. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Your choice, yogi's choice, do what you can. And then let's go to child's pose one more time. Just wanted to explain a little bit. Don't push yourself if it's not a day for pushing yourself. So sometimes we feel that it is. And that's what we're doing. We're figuring out how we feel today. So sometimes I'll start a yoga practice, realize I'm really tired, maybe go down on the floor. Do what you need to do. We've got about 20 more minutes of flowing. Then we'll get into our yin practice. So let's come back downward facing. Inhale. Exhale, we'll look forward, walk, step, or jump to the front. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, take a breath. Inhale, arms sweep. Exhale, down. Taking 1 more of these sun A's. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands plant, step back. Lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing or child's pose. Beautiful. And then looking forward, walk, step, or jump to the front. Inhale all the way. Exhale, heart center. Breath here. Now for the sun salutation B. So we add a chair and we add a warrior one pose. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips down. So coming to our chair or our thunderbolt pose. Maybe you look up to the sky. So if this isn't okay with your arms, shoulders, just bring the arms parallel to the floor. That's an awesome way to strengthen as well. So inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands plant. So you can skip the vinyasa too. You can go back to child's or down dog right away. So lowering half or all the way. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Inhaling, right foot up. Exhale, bend the knee, step forward. We're turning the back foot at an angle. We're bringing our hips pretty square to the front, and then arms can lift. So warrior one pose here. We're pressing down equally in both feet. Make sure you're pressing down in the pinky side of the back foot, in the heel and big toe of the front foot. Beautiful. We're going to bring hands together at the heart. And then starting to get lighter in the back foot, we're going to step to chair pose. So inhale, stepping. Here we are in a chair with a prayer hand. Inhale here. We're exhaling, twisting to the right side. So it looks kind of like this. Here is fine. You know, any level of this is fine. Good. One more breath in. Exhale, just let it go. Forward fold. So you can take a forward bend of your choice, maybe opposite elbows or fold the arms. If you'd like a little more, you can bend your knees, grab the big toes with the first two fingers and thumb. And then gently pulling. Arms can go out to the side this time, elbows. I'm just going to turn around from the same way as before. Beautiful. And then letting go of toes, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back. Lowering half or all the way. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing. Please take a child's pose if you need it. Take water in between poses. Good. Left side, inhaling left leg when you're ready. Exhale, step forward. Taking warrior one. So turn the back foot at an angle and then we lift arms up. Good. So if this is wobbly or balance is hard today, look at the ground, to really grounding yourself literally. So look at one spot on the floor. If you need more of a challenge, you can look to the sky. And then hands come to the heart, bringing weight to the front foot. So getting a little buoyancy and then step forward. So we're in a chair prayer. Inhale, exhale, twisting left side. Beautiful. So make sure your hips are pretty even. Your knees should line up together. Usually that means your hips are even. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Forward bend again if you'd like. So you can bend your knees, step on your palms, bringing your toes to the wrist crease. Or if you've had enough of forward bends, come into a malasana or a squat pose. We're going to hang out 10 breaths. Beautiful. If you're in a forward bend, start bringing the hands out from under the feet and lift halfway up. If you're in your squat, you can bring your hands down, lift the hips up, toe heel them back. And then inhale halfway, exhale, fold. We're gonna come back up all the way to standing. Inhale, breath, exhale, hands to heart. So we're doing one more flow. This is gonna be our longer flow. So just do what you'd like, leave the rest. Take what you need, leave what you don't. So coming to the top of the mat, we're gonna inhale arms, exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, hands come down, you step back, and we exhale to lower half or all the way. So I'll just demonstrate the other ones since I've been doing chaturangas. Inhale, cobra or up dog. In your cobras, you can start to come up a bit higher. And then finding your child's pose to down dog or taking your up dog to down dog. Beautiful. I haven't taught a yin class in a while, actually, and it's really fun. I forgot about the talking during teaching, which is an extra workout, which is great. So downward dog here. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, pulling it forward, and we'll take warrior one again. So our last time we're here. Inhale up. Exhale to settle. And then opening warrior two. Shoulders and hips open to the side. So I guess ideally you'll want that right angle here. I don't exactly have it, but you definitely want to be able to see your big toe in the front. So you might have to track your knee right a little bit. Arms are parallel to the floor, looking maybe over your middle finger of your right hand. And then we're gonna reverse it. So flip your hand, inhale, reverse. And then exhale, bringing your right hand to the, or right arm to the, to the right leg. Side angle pose. Nice, long line from your left toes, left to left fingers. And then slowly coming back up, straighten that leg, let it go. We're gonna inhale, going back again. And then coming to triangle, arms are parallel to the floor again. Inhale, kind of kicking the hips to the left. Reach, 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 and then exhale, the right hand comes down. It might come to the leg. You can use a block or prop. You wanna really open your right hip and your right shoulder to the sky. So opening more than you think. Good. Beautiful. All right, listen carefully. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the left arm down. I'm gonna hop up the back heel, frame the right foot, and then take a twist. So left hand down, inhale, right, up. Nice. And then we have an option for side plank. So either staying here, you can drop the back knee, foot out, and then come to a modified side plank, or maybe you're here, oops, you bring that right leg back. So a challenging posture here. Inhale, exhale, we're gonna flow or go to down dog. Inhale, exhale, and then let's take child's pose, knees down, third eye down. 10 breaths here before doing the other side. I'm gonna take some of my water right now. Awesome. Deep breaths here. We want a steady, not labored breath. So the child's pose giving us a chance to get back in touch with the breath and let it be more steady rhythm. We're gonna do one more side. I'm gonna turn so you can see, so my back isn't to you when we get to some of the poses. So back downward facing. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step forward, turn the back foot at an angle. Warrior one, last warrior one for the practice today. And then exhale, open warrior two. Looking over that left middle finger, maybe off in the distance at one spot, or maybe at the fingernail. Look, maybe just tracking the left knee over to the left a little bit. And then flip the palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, forearm comes to the thigh for side angle. Maybe you turn the chest towards the sky here. And then just one more nice little challenge to come back. Warrior 2 first, and then straighten out. And then inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, triangle pose. So here you are. Hips go back towards the right. Reaching left hand, and then exhale, bring it down. I love this one. It's a nice big stretch. Good. And then here's the kind of tricky part with rights and lefts. So you're going to start bending the left leg, bring the right hand down, pop the right heel up. Hands are framing the foot. And then twisting, right hand stays down, left arm up. And then again, I'll have my back to you, sorry, but we'll take our side plank. So you can go ahead and drop the knee if you'd like, turn the foot to the side, the leg comes out. Or you take your full side plank, hips lifting towards the sky. And then optional vinyasa. So you might go right to child's pose, or maybe you flow one more time. Exhale, inhale, down dog or child's pose now. Good. Beautiful. All right, let's come all the way onto the belly now. So you can come to plank and lower, or from child's pose, just come forward. Take a moment here. So we have done a lot of cobras. Let's do a locust pose next. So go ahead and bring arms alongside the body. And then inhaling, lifting the chest up, chest and shoulders, and then legs lift as well. Maybe they're zipped up. Inhale, exhale down, one cheek to the mat. And then do that again, or take a bow. So if you're doing bow, bend the knees, you can grab the feet or ankles, or you just do the locust that we just did. Inhale, we'll all lift everything up. Two more breaths here. Inhale, one more higher, and then exhale down, opposite cheek to the mat. Good. So we're winding things down. Let's go ahead and bend the knees, windshield wiper the feet. Bring hands next to shoulders, gently pressing up. Take a child's pose again here. Let's spend at least a minute in this pose. So preparing for the yin portion of our practice. We're right on time, so that's good. All right, child's pose. Breathing in, breathing out. So we'll observe the difference between yin and yang. We just did a yang practice. It creates heat. It's very stimulating and active. Yin yoga, on the other hand, is cooling. You might notice that you get cooler during practice. You might want to grab a sweater or blanket. It's more grounding, calming. And I love doing a yin practice right after doing some vinyasa. It just feels so good to sink in. So still in a child's pose here, a few more breaths. All right, so you can come up, and then this is a good time to grab your props and kind of bring them near you. I'm gonna bring my bolster up to the front of the mat for this next pose. Might want some blocks nearby or some towels and your blanket. So we're gonna come into the sleeping swan, coming up to start hands and knees, and then sliding your right knee towards your right wrist. Don't worry about shin parallel to the front of the mat. That's not applying here. So you're kind of here, and then you might want to create more space in the hips by tucking your back toes, just scooting the knee back a little bit. If your hip still doesn't come down, grab a prop, I got a pillow, and you can put it right under that hip. And then staying here or coming down to sleeping swan when you're ready. So when you're here, we just call it swan. I love my bolster or a pillow under the chest. So slowly you come down. We're going to be here about 4 minutes, and just keep in mind in our yin practice, well, with any practice, come out if you feel any kind of pain. If anything is too much or too intense, back off the pose, or you can come out completely. First yin pose here, technically. I'm using a timer. So I'll apologize, I'll have my phone out. All right, so the goal here is to relax the muscles. I mean, it's one of many, but that and breathing. Relaxing the muscles and breathing. When we relax our muscles for a period of about 1 to 2 minutes, we get a deeper, more yin stretch. You're gonna feel it as maybe something pulsing in the hip. It might feel a little achy or dull or heavy. Those are all good chi signs that we're feeling the energy. You'll know if you're going too far, it'll be hard to breathe, or you'll feel a sharp sensation. Please come out of the pose if that happens. So the practice today, a yin yang kind of hybrid class. And I wanted to do that today because it's only Tuesday. And it's nice to kind of have that energy beginning of the week so we can kind of get through that hump. Thursday will be completely a yin practice. I feel like by Thursday, we all need a little more calm and peace. So that was the reasoning for that. Halfway through this pose, ask, where do I feel this in my body? Ask yourself that. And then can you direct your breath towards that sensation? Exhale, release something, whether it's muscle tension, whether it's the face, the jaw, the forehead, muscles of the face. And sometimes we have to exhale out thoughts or old stale emotions. So clearly we're practicing mindfulness, but we're human beings. So our thoughts do come in and kind of creep in during our practice. Just come back to inhale, what do I feel in my body right now? Exhale, let go of that thought. If it's important, it'll be there later. If it's unimportant, it doesn't matter if it just drifts away. So we'll take about 1 more minute here. Beautiful. So we'll come out. Now when we come out, much slower than anything that we were doing previously. You want to feel everything as you come out, and you want to continue feeling the pose when you're out of it. So when you're ready, hands come to the ground and slowly lift up. I will push my prop to the side. If you have something under the hip, you can take it out. And then I like to tuck the back toes and scoot the left knee forward. I can bring my right to meet left and just come right down to rest. If a different way to come out suits you, then do that. Then we'll go into the other side. Hands come under the chest or under the shoulders and lift up. And then let's take the left knee forward towards the left wrist. Maybe you scoot the right leg back. And then again, maybe something under the left hip. Staying up, coming down when you're ready. So breathing in, exhale, lower. You can be very, very propped in this pose. Just keep that in mind. There's lots of options. And I forgot to mention the option on your back, but if these don't work for you, lie on your back. And you can always switch in the middle, but you'll go ahead and bring your left ankle over your right thigh towards the knee, kind of pushing right or left knee away and then bringing the right foot up so you can grab behind the knee or calf or thigh. And that's that version. Great, so we're on the left side. I wanted to read a passage about the spring season from the ancient Chinese text, the Su Wen. I just have to find it. So the Chinese really were like in ancient times about living with the seasons and how to treat ourselves during the seasons. Sorry, I should have had this ready. Well, I'm gonna find it. So you're still in the pose. We've been here about enough time that you should be feeling that yin-like stretch. You might even notice that moment it shifts. So when we first get in the pose, we feel it in the muscle for sure. It's a muscular stretch. And as we hold, we go ahead and feel it go deeper. So it moves deeper into the body. We are affecting the joints themselves, the connective tissues, especially ligaments, and the fascia, which runs through the entire body. It helps regulate metabolism, our temperature, hot or cool. It does all kinds of stuff. But about halfway through the pose now. Here we go. The 3 months of spring are called springing up and unfolding. Heaven and earth together produce life, and the 10,000 beings are invigorated. At night, one goes to bed. At dawn, one gets up. One paces in the courtyard with great strides, hair loose, body at ease, exerting the will for life, letting live, not killing, giving, not taking away, rewarding, not punishing. This corresponds with the spring chi. It is the way that maintains the drive of life. To go countercurrent would injure the liver, causing in summer disturbance due to cold through an insufficient contribution to growth. So we're talking about the wood element of spring. Spring is a time of huge uprising of the chi after the stillness of winter. So often we feel upward sensations and upward kind of symptoms like headaches and migraines, vision issues, dizziness or lightheadedness, anger or frustration, even when we think about like a person who has like a red face, that would be like liver yang rising. All right, so here we are taking about 5 more breaths. And then please come out really slowly. So hands come under for support. Maybe you move your bolster, maybe you move the prop under your hip. And then I'm going to just bring my right leg forward a little, left can meet it, and we sink down and rest. So resist the urge, if you can, to move immediately after the poses. This is a special time of the posture, it's called rebound phase, or there's other names. This is the time to really feel that chi and blood reorganizing from the stimulation we just gave it. New fresh blood and oxygen flushing through the joints. This is an amazing anti-aging, anti-inflammatory practice. Beautiful. So you're still resting here. Take a few more breaths. All right, hands coming under, shoulders lift up, back for child's pose, or if you need movement now, take some cat and cows again. Inhaling, drop the belly, exhale, round. Or you're just in child's pose, resting. No matter where you are, we're all gonna come up. We'll come to our seat for the next one. We're gonna take butterfly. So feet come together, knees come apart. Does not matter how close your heels are to your body, just see where they fall. And then you might need a prop nearby. All right, so the idea here is not to get the head to the feet. That has nothing to do with this pose. It's more about kind of cascading the upper body over the lower, sinking into the posture. So you can have a bolster here, have a prop if you need for your arms or for your head. But we're gonna slowly take a deep breath in. And then exhale slowly. You let the spine just round. Stop where you feel some resistance, and that's a good place to add a prop. So I notice I'm coming to about here, so I can add my prop under my forehead. And then you might end up sinking deeper, taking the prop away later, or you might not. No worries. About 4 minutes here. This is a great pose to think about the wood element of spring. So we are stimulating the liver channel, especially if you feel it in the groin, the inside of the legs. And we are stimulating gallbladder if we feel it on the outside of the hips, the lateral or side body. And of course, this also affects the spine, which is the water element. So I was talking about some of the issues with the springtime and the like the health things that can come up and the anger and stuff like that. We're going to be calming that in this pose. So even if you feel frustration arise in the pose or in any posture, can you really feel it? Just feel that emotion. It's okay to feel your feelings. And we're often taught to not express anger or frustration when we're young. So it's okay to feel it. It's a healthy human emotion. It becomes trouble when we don't feel it, we stuff it down, or we explode. We want to be balanced and let our emotions move freely through us. Kind of how little children will just have a tantrum and then they're totally fine after. Halfway through this pose, inhale, exhale, sinking into it, surrendering. The passage about spring, when it says, one paces in the courtyard with great strides, hair loose, body at ease. That's like, we don't want to be all tight in the spring. We want our ligaments and tendons to flow freely. We want to be able to move easily. And that does involve getting some movement every day. Letting live, not killing, giving, not taking away, rewarding, not punishing. A virtue of the wood element is benevolence. So often people with a wood constitution or tendency to be a more woody person will be very into justice, what's good for the good of all people. So that benevolence is so beautiful. All right, about one more minute here. Awesome. We're going to come out as slowly as we came in. So hands down on the ground or the prop, and then lift up slowly. Coming out of the poses can feel like we're, like my teacher says, like we're 90 years old. So take it easy. Let's bring the legs together, and we can take a little front body stretch now. So you can bring your hands behind the hips, fingers point forward, and inhale, hips lifting. Maybe the head goes back. Inhale, one more. Exhale, hips come down. And then I'd like you to come all the way to the floor. All the way down. If you need, you can bring your knees into chest, rock, do circles, maybe happy baby pose. So you can grab the ankles or the feet, bring the knees out, pull the heels, feet towards the ground. You can rock if you need to. Nice. And then we'll slowly bring the legs back down. Feet will be on the ground, knees bent. We're going to take our reclining half moon. It's kind of hard for you all to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to explain it really carefully. So you're lying down with the feet on the floor. I'm going to pick my hips up, scoot them to the right edge of the mat, and then bring the legs straight down. Next, I'm going to slide my left leg to the left corner of the mat, and right will follow. And then we're going to scoot the shoulders left, so it's like a half moon shape. So arms can be overhead. You can hold a wrist, and then if your right leg won't stay in place, maybe you place your cross your ankles right over left. So you should get a huge stretch in this side body. So if you're looking like it's like a half moon, like that, but obviously lying on the floor. So whenever you feel any kind of anxiety or stress coming up at this time, lying on the floor can be so therapeutic, and just breathing, just like we did in the beginning. You can take 5 minutes maybe, or 2 or 3 minutes to do that if you feel agitation during the day or any kind of fear. Just want to calm fight or flight with our breath. Gallbladder channel running zigzagged along the side of the body, side of the hips, the waist, side of the leg. So you might feel it all along. Just see where you feel this. Should be feeling it pretty deep by now. I often feel like an achy feeling on the side right above my hip in this pose. You might feel it differently, but I love that sensation. And you all know if it becomes too much, back off. You do not have to hold the pose as long as I'm saying. This is your practice. So in the passage, we want to correspond how we live with the chi of spring. And you can think of the chi as spring. So the liver chi is responsible for spreading energy in all directions, but the wood energy is going straight up. So you think about the plants and the trees that are just shooting up towards the sun in this time of year. Think about if you ever see like a plant coming up through concrete, you know, it'll make its way up no matter what. So that is the energy of that wood element. Very driven, very planny, like making plans, decisions, especially if you're strong in your wood element, if you're balanced. Okay, we have about 1 more minute here in the side bend. Nice. Few more breaths right here. Into that area you're feeling this pose. The area talking to you right now. And you're at home alone. You can exhale. You can groan as you come out of the pose. You can do whatever you want. Three more breaths. And then exhale. So first, maybe bringing arms down, bringing shoulders to center, and then uncross. You can scoot the hips back to center. Maybe you just lay. You can do a star pose if you'd like. So stretching legs apart, hands apart, like a pentagram. And then let's take the other side. Bringing the legs back in, feet down, knees up. Picking the hips up, scooting them to the left edge of the mat. Legs come down, sliding right foot to right corner, left follows, maybe crossing ankles, and then bringing arms overhead, maybe you scoot shoulders a little bit right. So you pretty much want your hips down. I have seen people like this, and I think that's okay, but as long as you're not using effort to hold your hips in place, you want to relax them. Sometimes I'll even go a little too far and I'm like, oh, I'm actually using effort right here. And then I'll just kind of scoot out of it a little bit, and then I can just kind of flop into it. So we're doing about 4-minute holds today. And as I said, use your own judgment with your own body. You can do a 2-second hold. It's all good. Remembering the breath is the anchor throughout the whole practice. I'm going to grab my sweater. As I said, it's a cooling practice, so I'm getting a little chilly myself. So feel free to cover with a blanket at this point if you need to. Especially in the wintertime when I practice Yin at home, it's like blanket is on me the entire practice. Get comfortable. Noticing any emotions that might be coming up for you. We do store emotion in the body. So by really moving in an intentional way and really opening like we're doing, things might come to the surface. And it is okay to feel, like I said, if you even need to cry during a practice, that's a beautiful thing. Mentally focusing on our one pointed focus. So it might be that intention you set. What was that word or phrase or intention? Can you recall that now? Focus on that as you breathe. This is such a meditative practice. I kind of see it as a gateway to meditation, a body meditation. Got a little under 2 minutes here. About another minute as an offering or a suggestion. Two more breaths here. Beautiful. And then please slowly make your way out of the pose. Take time. You can lie in that star shape if you like, or any other position. We're going to take our last pose, which is the spine twist. So you might just let your knees go to the right side. You might cross your left over right and bring knees right, or any other variation of twist you'd like. Please take that. I'm just going to show. Props are awesome. You do not want, again, to be using effort to hold this. So if your legs are to the side and it's kind of uncomfortable, maybe you take some blocks, one block under one leg, maybe one between the knees. That's an option, or maybe just one between the knees. For me, I do the cross-legged one because it just feels great on my back. And sometimes I'll prop it with a block. Nice. Now we're going to do about 3 minutes per side, just for the sake of timing. Another nice side body stretch, but also so good for those internal organs. They're wringing out, the detoxifying, good for the spine. Twists are just so good for the spine. Please don't overdo it though. If you feel any kind of tweaky feeling deep in that lumbar, come out of that posture or back off of it. So staying present at the end of practice, that's something I have sometimes challenges with. My mind seems to want to drift, or I'm like, oh, I'll just skip this last part. This is really important right now. If you're feeling not just effects from this pose, but from all of the poses that you've done, and we even did the vinyasa flow, seems like so long ago. So it's a big time to feel everything. So even if you simply are asking, how do I feel right now to yourself? Great. You're focusing on inhaling, presence, exhaling, surrender. That's beautiful. Send that breath, that healing energy right to that spot that's working right now. Exhale, let it feel heavy, let the muscles go. About 10 more breaths here. Nice. When you're ready, please take your time rolling back to the center, uncrossing anything. Take a rest right here. Nice. Couple more breaths of rest. Nice. And then we'll take our last pose, twist on the other side. So maybe pulling these in and bringing them to the left. Maybe you cross right over left, knees to the left, or your own version. So some people will take this right knee bent and cross it over with the left leg straight. I've seen people straighten this top leg. I'm not really good at doing that, but whatever you need. Everyone's body is different. That's why this practice is, well, why I love this practice. No two people will look the same in any of these poses. There's skeletal variations involved with our bodies that means one person might be more flexible. For example, like I probably won't ever be able to do a full split because of the shape of my hips, and I have the way my femur bones sit in the hip socket. So just something to consider if you go through these poses and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing it right, or I can't do this one. There's always modifications. There's no right or wrong. It's a practice of compassionate self-acceptance, accepting where we are in each pose, accepting who we are, accepting emotions, accepting the physical body and the mind. And then we tap into that true observer, the true self that's watching all of this, watching emotions, watching thoughts, watching the body, watching the breath. Who is that? It's that true divine spark that we all have. That's what connects us all. That helps us all be connected as one during this time where we can't be physically together. I'm so grateful for the community of yoga. I've been taking others' classes online. It's been really beautiful, connecting with others, keeping in touch. Take about 2 more minutes, sinking deeper and deeper into this pose. And one more minute here as an option. Breath. Shoulders feeling really heavy and relaxed here. And then when you're ready, please come out. So rolling back to center, uncrossing. All right, now is the time to take any last movements or stretches that you might need. You might need to do something that we didn't get to today, or just kind of roll it around on the mat. You can do circles with the knees. So you're lying down at this point. And we'll set up for our final relaxation pose. So I love props, and you can get yourself really comfortable. Got my pillows here for my head. I'm going to take my bolster. You can do a bolster or pillow or rolled blanket or towel under the knees. And a nice blanket over you if you prefer, or a sweater or something. And we are going to rest now intentionally. You can use an eye pillow if you need to. You can get out some essential oils or whatever. And then finally find your relaxation pose. Don't have to do or be anything here. We take a few minutes and we let everything we've done assimilate in the body, mind, spirit. So lying here, just beginning to reconnect with your breath and your body. Reawakening just with little movements of the fingers and the toes. Maybe a little more if you want to circle wrists and ankles, or gently turn the head side to side. Nice. And then you're going to slowly roll onto the side body and pause there. Take a couple of breaths on your side in the fetal position here. And then slowly pressing up to a comfortable seat, and we'll close our practice together. And please take your time getting up. I'll wait just a moment for everybody. And then we'll bring the palms together at the heart center with gratitude for our practice. May all beings be free of fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we be at peace with whatever comes. And may we all live gently in the softness of our own hearts. Namaste.